Very good morning, children. Hope you all are doing fine. Sending all your homeworks on time, reading all what is being given on time and not troubling your parents. Alright. Welcome back once again to our English recorded classes. This is Ma'am Anna, your English teacher. Are you all ready for today's session, children? Let's get started. What is this now? Good, better, best? Am I talking to someone? Or this is something related to today's class? Let's wait and watch. Before we start off with today's class, let me tell you what I will be covering in today's session. Here we go. Let's see what I will be covering in today's session. In today's session, we will start with comparison of adjectives, definitions and examples. Then we will summarize all what we learned today. Then of course, I will definitely ask you questions and you will have to answer me. And then your assignment, which is your classwork and homework. If you all remember, we did learn something called adjective on the 19th of October. You all remember or you all forgot? You all remember? Okay. Let's have a quick look of what an adjective is. An adjective is a word used to modify a noun or a pronoun. Adjectives answer the question, what kind, which one, how many or how much. And the different kinds of adjectives that we learned are adjective of quality, adjective of quantity, adjective of number, interrogative adjective, demonstrative adjective, distributive adjective and possessive adjective. Let's see what the comparison of adjectives are. Now, the comparison of adjectives are also called as the 3 degrees of comparison. They are the positive degree, comparative degree, superlative degree. And just an example, if in the positive degree, if we say big, the comparative forms become bigger and the superlative form becomes biggest. Now, let's look at all these 3 degrees of comparison with the definition and lots of examples. All right? Let's have a look at the first one, which is the positive degree. Children, I want you all to pay attention and listen carefully to what is being taught. It's very simple and easy to understand. Now, we use the positive degree when we speak about only one person, one thing, one animal, etc. Alright? Once again, I'm repeating. We use the positive degree to talk about only one person, one thing, one place or an animal. Very clear? Let's look at some examples. LeBron James is tall. The house is big. This flower is beautiful. Let's look at more examples. Now, when we say this house is big, in this sentence, only one noun, which is the house, is talked about. So, we are talking about only one house and not any other house. He is a tall student. The flower is beautiful. He is an intelligent boy. If you look at each of these sentences mentioned above, we are talking about only one person or one thing. Very clear, children? Hope you all understand where to use positive degree, Now let's look at the second one. The second degree is the comparative degree. Now we use the comparative degree when we compare two persons, two things with each other. In other words, we use comparative degree to compare ourselves with each other. It can be ourselves or it can be two peoples when we are comparing two peoples with each other. Let's look at these examples. Yao Ming is taller than LeBron James. This house is bigger than that one. She is nicer than him. More examples for you. This house is bigger than that one. He is smarter than his brother. He is more intelligent than that boy. Rose is more beautiful than Jasmine. So if you clearly watch, okay, we are comparing either one person to the other or one thing to the other. Very clear? So it is just comparing of things to each other. Alright, let's look at the third degree. Now let's see what is superlative degree. We use the superlative degree when we compare more than two persons or things with one another. I'll repeat it once again. We use the superlative degree when we compare more than two persons or things with one another, and it is the highest degree of quality. Children, now in this particular case, what we do is we compare more than two persons. For example, in a classroom, alright, if there are about 45 students, we compare one child to the whole class, okay, and that's superlative degree. When you're comparing more than two persons or things with one another, alright. In other words, you can say comparing a group to just one person, alright. Now let's look at these examples. Peter is the smartest boy in the class. Alice is the sweetest girl in the neighborhood. The blue whale is the largest of all animals. Now if you look at these sentences, we are comparing either the whole class or we are comparing the whole neighborhood to one person, or we are comparing all of the animals to one animal. Let's look at more examples. Sarah is the youngest person of her family. This is the cheapest wallet in the shop. Wallet means purse, children. She had the most exact memory I have ever seen. You are the richest man in this company. The most delicious meals are made there. Alex is the youngest team player in the team. Are you all very clear, children, with what is superlative degree? And now it's question time. Are you all ready to answer my question? Let's get started. Now, there are most of the children who do not answer anything at all. I want those children to answer at least one or two questions that I'm asking. I want Mithun, Tarun, I want Shashikala, all of you all to answer, children. Make an effort. Even if it's wrong, never mind. I'm not going to shout at you all. I will correct you all. Alright? Now, are you all ready with a pen and a pencil or a paper to write down the questions? Here we go. The first one. How many kinds of adjectives have you learnt in the previous class? How many kinds of adjectives have you learnt in the previous class? What is superlative degree? What is superlative degree? Give an example sentence. What is superlative degree? Give an example sentence. What are the 3 degrees of comparison that you learned? What are the 3 degrees of comparison that you have learned? quickly send me the answers and let me see who will be the first one to get a round of applause in the group. All the best. Now, let's see what have you learned today. In today's class, we learned a glimpse of what is adjective and the different kinds of adjectives. We also did learn the 3 degrees of comparison, which is positive, comparative and superlative degrees, with definition and lots of examples, isn't it? I hope you all are very clear of what has been taught today, and if you all have any doubts, please feel free to call me, children. Do not hesitate. All right? Now, let's look at some more examples of the positive, comparative and superlative degree. If you all notice, the positive degree is called the base form, and the comparative, we use ER at the end of the word, and for superlative we use EST at the end of the word. But unfortunately, it does not happen for all the words. Let's look at these examples. Easy, easier, easiest. Wide, wider, widest. Thin, thinner, thinnest. Young, younger, youngest. Narrow, narrower, narrowest. Brave, braver, bravest. Close, closer, closest. Thick, thicker, thickest. Dark, darker, darkest. Dim, dimmer, dimmest. Lonely, lonelier, loneliest. Beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful. Courageous, more courageous, most courageous. Intelligent, more intelligent, most intelligent. And children, I will be sending some more of these examples via WhatsApp or in the group. Please go through it, alright, and understand them clearly. Hope you all have understood what has been taught today, and you all will be able to identify the positive, comparative and superlative degree. Yes? Now comes your assignment, children. Now for your homework, in your homework book, you will write the heading as degrees of comparison and put today's date. The heading will be fill in the blanks with the right form of adjectives in the bracket. So in the bracket, the words that I have given in the bracket, you will have to change it either to comparative or superlative form and fill in the blank. Now I'll do the first one for you all. The rest you will have to do it by yourself. Your bag is, now in the bracket we have heavy and light than mine. So your answer will be your bag is heavier or lighter than mine. Alright, so we are using the comparative form to fill in the blanks. In the same way, you will have to do the rest. It's difficult rule of all. So now what is in the bracket, you will have to change it and see what will match with the blank. Third one, the pen writes good than my previous one. This athlete is stronger than his competitor. This pupil is clever in the class. This is old castle in Britain. Health is important than money. This path is narrow than the parallel one. Kenyans are good sprinters. Luxurious hotels are expensive than those of economic class. So please go through it, understand, and then fill in the blank, children. Alright? Now this is for your homework. For your classwork, I will be sending definitions of the degree of comparison. Please copy that in your grammar classwork. I'm repeating, I will be sending definitions for you all to copy it in the grammar classwork. Do not take a new page. If you have space left after you have written the definitions of adjectives, continue that itself. No need to take a new page. Just put the heading as degrees of comparison, put today's date and start writing what I have given. I will be sending some examples of the positive, comparative and superlative degree. All what you'll have to do is take a new page for that and write positive degree, comparative degree and superlative degree. Do not draw lines in between and mess the whole thing. One below the other, neatly copy down the examples that I am sending. Alright children, and also very important, coming Friday, which is the 13th of November, you will have test from the lesson Swami Vivekananda and the degrees of comparison only. Not the adjectives, the entire adjectives, only degrees of comparison. Swami Vivekananda and degrees of comparison, that will be objective types. So please go through your reader, classwork and all what I have given in the classwork, in the recording, and please go through the reader. And for grammar, please go through the definitions, because this is not there in your all-in-one reader. This grammar what I'm teaching you all is not there in your book. Okay, so this is very much important for you all. So that's the reason I am teaching you all the basic grammar what is required. Alright children, hope you all have understood very clearly what is being taught today, and you can definitely identify the three forms of the degrees of comparison. If I give you, you will identify whether it is a positive degree, a comparative degree or a superlative degree. Clear? Any doubts? You all know what to do. Until we meet in the next class, this is Ma'am Anna signing off. Take care and wishing you all a very happy Children's Day. I miss you all children. Bye-bye. Take care.